Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday, the 16th of September. So, looking ahead, what's up in terms of risk today? Well, we've already had the employment data. In fact, let me just click on this and just refresh this. There we go, there's the employment change there. So, down quite a bit there for the Australian dollar. Unemployment rate, though, is quite significantly different. The what we got leading up then this afternoon, we got President Lagarde speaking. Now she's due to speak at about the economy, hosted by HEC and President Paris. Now, not necessarily an official event as such, but can create volatility, of course. So I would be wary of that, even if it is what she's already said last week. But be aware. Then at 1:30 we've got core retail sales. This tends to have a lighter effect at the moment, but still potential volatility around that. And the rest, then, well, it's all coming at the same time, so it's a bit of a mix. But really, it's those core retail sales that will be focused on for the headlines. Right, that's it. So that's today in terms of news. Mainly quite clearly there. So let's look at the technicals, starting off looking at the euro dollar. And well, the euro dollar is trying its best, but it's just consolidated and it's sitting around this 118 area. You look at it on here, you just see it's come down numerous times, and it's quite key. I do get the feeling a break of that may occur. I was just wary of it. You may just get a slight break of it and then pull back. I mean, it's just got its S1, its daily pivot sitting below there. That might just see a slight break of it, and then all of a sudden up it goes again. You may just sort of snatch people in. But if it does start moving down more significantly, I think it's 10 or so pips below there. I think it's got possibly further to go there. I'm sort of looking at the moment at the bodies at 1775 initially. If it does start breaking down there, so looking back towards that weekly S1 area. Okay, so looking a bit negative at the moment. As I said, you just got to be careful. Sometimes it's a bit of a trap, this early morning business, and you sort of get drawn into it thinking, well, this is going to break, it looks all good, there'll be sell orders most likely below, but then all of a sudden they get absorbed, and next thing is you're seeing a rally. So just tread carefully this morning, I would. There we go. It's running at the moment. It's pre 8 o'clock movements. Just got to be wary of them. They do sometimes, of course, work. A lot of the time, though, they're quite iffy. The pound's still chopping away. The main drift of it is higher lows and higher highs. It's still got that sort of drift in there. Never managed to hold on to it. Held on okay yesterday, I suppose, but not pushing up compared to the previous day, down day. But today, I'm looking at this and thinking, well, where's that going to go then? And it's sort of a line. There's a couple of lines I'm looking at. I'm looking at the 100 moving average, that around about the 37.97 area. Maybe just wait for the break of the lows somewhere in that region. Below that point, it becomes quite bearish. Back above yesterday's highs there at 38.55, maybe a bit more bullish, and it's a bit of a waiting game. Whether it gives any clues on the lower time frames, maybe a continuation down towards that S1 is a possible. That may be just as far as it goes, though. But certainly looking weak at the moment, these markets. Dollar yen, well, it's also coming off a bit, or coming off. Now, when I was looking at this yesterday, it looked like a sort of a bit of a move to safety. Often the money runs to the yen and the Swissy. But it's just come down the time frames. Okay, it's just getting a bit more of a bounce here at this stage, but bit iffy actually. The dollar yen, it's sort of lower highs coming through, and well, got potential further lower highs. I found it very difficult. We've spent so much time in chop so often, and we often do. It's difficult to try and see where it is going. The biggest picture, obviously, at the moment is painted this downside in the near term, but we spent so much time previously in the range. But well, it's not clear to me at the moment. It's as simple as that, really. So I'll step aside. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar is much simpler. It's just continuing its southward bound journey at the moment. It doesn't mean to say it will be going on forever, but for now it's not really managing too well. It's the lower highs coming through mostly, and it's broken down again this morning. Just come down the lower time frames here, and you just see it just sort of pushed up, taking out stops. Anyone that was sort of pushing into that levels there and sort of shorting it, I should imagine stops are taken out. It's done a complete reversal. The news not helping, and selling off. Another market selling off this morning. At the moment it's almost done its range. I hate markets like this where they've already done quite a range. I mean, it's already gone from its R1 nearly to the S1. That's a significant range for a market in a day, and may just sort of consolidate and not get a lot further. The Canadian dollar's been sitting there quite range bound. It at times looks, and it may still have some further upside in this at the moment. It's certainly not doing what I expected previously. I expected more of a correction at one stage and more of a downside, but it's just not happening. And you just got to accept it's not happening. And it's basically in this channel here, right, a rising channel that's sort of coming through here. It appears at the moment it's sitting in that. Maybe got more upside today. Again, these markets, it's sort of dollar strength. You can see all the way through. This is the dollar CAD. You can see the strength of the dollar here, pushing up pretty well. Even with oil prices yesterday, well, it did pretty well with the stronger oil prices coming through there. It was making the best of it, but a stronger dollar obviously softens the oil price and everything else, which we'll look at in a moment. But at the moment this looks like it's got upside, but again it's pre 8 o'clock. We could just see this running into its pivot at 8 o'clock and taking a rollover. So tread carefully, don't jump to too many conclusions, keep reviewing the data as it goes through post 8 o'clock, then perhaps into 9ish. Okay, Euro Yen is, as I said, a pair I tend to trade quite a bit, so just wanted to have a look here, and this is continuing on the south side. Certainly looking weak for the yen, euro, beg your pardon, all the way through here. Lower highs, lower lows. It just looks like it's got further downside to run. It'll be interesting to see what it does post this candle here. All, as I say, all looking very soft. We could just get a continuation, but again, just wait post 8 o'clock. Retracements, look for the retracements, watch the retracements, because sometimes they're complete reversals and they catch you out, particularly when the markets move quite so much as these have overnight. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Let's have a look at gold. Commodities, run into the commodities and see what we got here. So even gold coming off, there's no, as I say, no surprise. Stronger dollar, weaker everything else, pretty much. Lower highs confirmed here through the session, coming down to the hourlies. At the moment it's back into its range actually. Lower highs, lower lows. It looks soft. Retracements might be good, but just come back to the range here, and it's back into these sort of prior lows. So you've got to tread carefully. Now at some point, of course, when you can see on the left hand side of the chart over here and here, we've been around this sort of 1784 area, in the 1780s for quite some time. It's just waiting for the breakdown effectively. When you pull out of here a little more, you see it's just been holding up in that area. Maybe the monthly pivot, we just see it come down and test that, just a break below that, then targets this sort of band that I'd put on before, this range that it'd been sitting in before, its support area. So just watching for a move, but just looking for that break, as I said, breakdown of those lows. But all looking pretty soft at this stage. As I say, risk is it will all turn after 8 o'clock, or sometime shortly after 8 o'clock. Oil's been pushing, has solid all day yesterday, stalled a bit today with no surprise, early shift. I expect this to be a bigger move in the afternoon. We see the afternoon moves are often much bigger on particularly Western Texas. because the market's proper open, the cash market's open. Ranging where we're sitting at the moment, maybe a break above $73. We'll get it kicking again, but looking at this and possibly leading into the afternoon, it's got an untouched daily pivot below there, and that may well be a target, but it's a short-term target really. That's pretty much it with the commodities. Let's have a look and switch across. Well, it's just hitting 8 o'clock. What I'm going to do is, if it's there, it's not, I'm going to switch across to the cryptos just first. We'll just have a look at what's happening here. Yesterday we saw Bitcoin picking up. It's actually picking up a little bit this morning by the looks of things. I mean, everywhere it's quite interesting. People get quite fearful now when they see a move up on Bitcoin, in terms of they start questioning it, particularly after last week's episode, and that's the way these markets run. All of a sudden they start pushing. But both, I mean, they had a good day through them, good couple of days here. Even with the stronger dollar, we're seeing these markets moving up at the moment. Again, I should just be a bit patient, but I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do. I'm not really looking at this too much on a day trading point of view, but and maybe for some that they're getting in around these levels. I would always tread carefully on these sort of potential fake moves, but at the moment it seems quite solid against all of these, all the majors here. Maybe Cardano is stalling a little bit today at this stage. To me it looks a messier one. The easier ones are the likes of Bitcoin, Ethereum and Ripple. Okay, that's pretty much it there. Let's have a quick look then at the indices. We've got a few minutes of them open across. So I'm going to start off, actually, let's just look at the Chinese influence one first, where the Chinese, the CSI 300 index selling off once again. Just, as I said many a time, this to me just looks like the weakest one. If you're looking for something that's weak, this is the one. In the main, it's the easy play. Okay, Nikkei, we've seen money running into that potentially from other markets. That's come off this morning as well. So everywhere there's this sort of a bit of uncertainty that's running through. FTSE this morning, okay, it's just caught a bit of a bounce. This first part I'm just looking at, definitely 16th of October, just checking it's an open market that I'm looking at, and yes, that's just caught a little bounce for a moment. Maybe we'll see that more of that as DAX is a bit more consolidated and a little bit down at the moment, and the French CAC, that's down as well. So, and I would expect maybe the FTSE would join them at the way it's going. We'll see. But all these markets are running pretty much southbound at the moment, and just lower highs, lower lows. It's real common picture there. Looking at S&Ps, quite interesting yesterday. Good solid update yesterday. It's funny, I read somewhere on one of the news services about the new trade seems to be shorting the early S&Ps, and that's it. It does it. So obviously yesterday we ended up with a long day after that effect. It's almost a contrarian trade against now. So be wary. I mean, it may just continue in that route. The open sees selling, but a pop and a drop effectively, something in that region. But we'll see. But whenever I see these things happen through the news, it's almost time to not do them. Okay, so or be very aware of them. I find these opening trades. There was lots with gaps and things like this, like on the S&Ps, that used to work pretty well, but it's such a mix-up these days. Anyway, talking of mix-up, this is currently sitting down a little bit here. I'm just going to leave it. Actually, I'll look at the Dow Jones for you as well. Dow Jones has been breaking a bit lower recently, and is now confirmed a lower high on the daily. So that's did it yesterday actually, or 2 days ago actually, confirmed that lower high. So has confirmed that sort of weaker market running through there. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to wish you a great day's trading, and I will speak to you tomorrow. Have a good one. Oh, triple witching tomorrow, just a reminder. So I'll talk about triple witching, or it's quadruple witching actually tomorrow. Not I'll try and remember to talk about that in the morning. Have a great day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye for now.